The Hutchison Effect. A man in an apartment levitated metal with radio waves. John Hutchison is a self-taught inventor living in Vancouver, British Columbia, who has spent decades assembling an extraordinary collection of Tesla coils, Van de Graaff generators, radio frequency transmitters, and other high-voltage electromagnetic equipment in his apartment. In 1979, he claims, while attempting to replicate experiments conducted by Nikola Tesla, he accidentally discovered something unexpected. Objects in the room began to levitate. Metal bars began to bend and twist without being touched. Materials appeared to blend together without heat. He began filming. The footage Hutchison produced over the following years is striking. In various videos, objects, steel bars, balls, pieces of wood, water bottles, rise into the air and move horizontally without apparent physical contact. A steel bar is seen bending in a way inconsistent with mechanical force. In one famous video, a steel bar appears to have a piece of wood embedded in it, the metals appearing to have blended without cutting or joining at conventional temperatures. A water bottle appears to levitate and then shoot across the room. Military interest was genuine and documented. Representatives from the U.S. Army and U.S. intelligence agencies visited Hutchison multiple times in the 1980s and 1990s. The McDonnell Douglas Aerospace Company reportedly sent investigators. The Los Alamos National Laboratory reportedly obtained samples of the blended metal materials for analysis. What these investigations concluded has never been fully made public. The military's interest is consistent with either genuine anomalous phenomena or the interest in ruling out a potential weapons technology before dismissing it. The principal scientific objection to the Hutchison effect is reproducibility. In multiple attempts by independent researchers to witness or reproduce the phenomena with Hutchison present or with equivalent equipment, the effects have not appeared. Hutchison himself acknowledges that the effects are intermittent and unpredictable, sometimes appearing after hours of preparation, sometimes not appearing at all despite identical setup conditions. This non-reproducibility is the single most significant obstacle to scientific acceptance, as reproducibility is a fundamental requirement of scientific validation. Skeptics have proposed that the Hutchison footage is produced by simple video manipulation, objects placed with adhesive that dissolves on cue, camera tricks, video footage played in reverse to make thrown objects appear to rise. The blended metal samples could be produced by conventional welding or casting, and then shown as though they were the result of the electromagnetic effect. These explanations are technically straightforward and would require only moderate deception. The challenge for the skeptic is that some of the footage appears to have been witnessed by credible third parties. The theoretical framework Hutchison proposes for his effects involves the intersection of multiple electromagnetic fields at specific frequencies and phases, creating what he calls a scalar field, a concept from Nikola Tesla's work that sits outside mainstream physics. Scalar field theories in the specific form Hutchison invokes are not recognized by mainstream physics. However, the intersection of Tesla coil fields, radio frequency transmitters, and Van de Graaff generators does create genuinely complex and not fully characterized electromagnetic environments. Whether these environments could produce anomalous material effects is not something that has been rigorously tested. The blended metal and wood samples attributed to the Hutchison effect are among the most discussed pieces of physical evidence. Several samples in which steel appears to have blended with wood or with other metals without cutting have been examined. Analyses have produced conflicting results. Some show evidence of conventional welding. Others show grain structures in the metal that are difficult to account for with conventional processes. The samples are real objects. What produced them is genuinely contested at the forensic level. John Hutchison continues to work in Vancouver, continuing to claim the phenomena are real and to produce new footage. The scientific community has not formally investigated his claims under controlled conditions that would satisfy the standards of peer review. The military interest of the 1980s and 1990s appears to have subsided. The Hutchison effect sits in a category unique to fringe science, too documented to dismiss entirely, too inconsistent to confirm, and too intriguing to fully ignore. Whatever is or isn't happening in that apartment in Vancouver, it has been happening or not happening for 40 years.